Welcome to another commented Zwift race. I completed this race about 1 year after my first Zwift race, which you can also find on my channel. Let's see what I learned and how I improved in the meantime. In Zwift races, people usually go pretty fast from the start, so make sure you join the race a few minutes early and warm up your legs. Don't start pedaling when the clock reaches 0, instead go hard about 5 seconds out, since Zwift averages your power. Now we are the front group. This is where I think you should be all the time, at least for short races. But keep in mind that Zwift models air drag and drafting, so if you are in the first position, you are in the wind and have to work harder for the same speed than the people who are sitting on your back wheel. I think this is my biggest weakness currently. I cannot efficiently ride in a group on Zwift. Almost all the time I'm either at the very front of a group or pushing hard in order to not lose the group. You will see this a lot in the next 15 minutes. If you are completely new to Zwift, you might not understand at all what is going on. So let me give you a quick introduction what you are seeing here. So Zwift is kind of a game where you drive a bicycle against other people or also just through a virtual landscape and you enjoy the landscape. But the whole point is that you are actually physically outputting power. So you are sitting either on a stationary bicycle or on your real bicycle, but connected to a resistance unit that in most cases works both ways in communicating with your computer. So your unit that your bicycle is connected or your stationary bicycle tells the computer how much power you are outputting, so how fast are you turning the pedals, and at the same time it receives a signal from the Zwift game that says if you are riding uphill or downhill or on a flat, so it can change the resistance that you are feeling when you pedal. And now, of course, the natural thing to do is to race in this thing, right? So you ride against other people and it simulates which position you are in, if you are having wind resistance from being in the front of the group or you are drafting somebody else. And there are also so-called power-ups, so you can gamify the whole thing and say, okay, now you have a power-up, so for 15 seconds you are a bit faster or you are invisible to others. So let me explain you a little bit the elements that you can see on the screen. So in the top left you see the big number, which is my power output in watts. And of course what you see here depends on how fast I pedal and also how hard I pedal. So different people will output different numbers here. To make it fair, Zwift places riders that have similar strength in the same category. So the categories are A, B, C, D, E, and I'm in the D category currently. Below that you can see my cadence, that means how fast I turn the pedals, and my heart rate. So my maximum heart rate is somewhere around 185 or something like that. If I go harder than 180, then I'm definitely, I need to recover. So I'm always trying to stay around 178, something like that. That means I'm not blowing up. But you can see throughout the race when I'm recovering or when I'm going hard based on this number. And on the right side of the screen you can see in which position I'm in, so it says first out of 26 or however many people are in the race, and you can see how this number changes. Unfortunately this is not kind of real time. It seems that this always lags a few seconds behind from what you can actually see on the screen in the middle where you see the avatars. And then sometimes you see a notification on the screen that says close the gap. That just means you are about to lose any benefit from drafting other riders. On the top right of the screen you can see like a small map and the position we are in currently on this map. So in this race we are actually riding multiple short laps and you can also see the gradient. So this map is pretty flat. There is just like one kind of small hill each lap. And this is actually the place where a lot of attacks happen, so a lot of people try to separate from the group always when it's going uphill, which is actually good for me because I'm a pretty light rider. So Zwift models a lot of things, and one of the things it models is kind of how fast you go depends on how heavy you are. So currently I'm 62 kilograms, which makes it easy for me to go fast uphill, and probably easier than for many other riders. We can see also the size or thinness of their avatar kind of indicates how heavy they are. So always the light guys will be kind of in the front of these climbs, and also will be the guys that attack up the climbs, and usually the heavy guys, they try to attack downhill because of course they have an advantage. Once they are up a hill, they can go downhill faster without putting that much power. On the bottom left of the screen, you see a window that you don't see when you normally open Zwift. So this is kind of my video editing magic. I put there like a live video feed of me riding. So let's see what is going on in the race. Until now, everything is going perfectly. So at this point, I was thinking, okay, this is a very, very good race. I'm constantly in the top 5 positions, so nicely going this front group. And what I noticed is I think I'm a little bit too many times out in the wind. So we can see later from the post-race kind of power data analysis that I was outputting more power than actually the person that placed 8, but I only placed 9 in this race. And partially because I blew up in the last lap, but still my power output was way too high basically, and I think this is where I lost this race. I should have kept a bit further behind, but for me the difficult thing is to know how much power I need to output exactly to follow a wheel. So if you have any tips how to train that, like how to follow the first guy that is also not going constantly, right? So the guys in front of me, they also change how fast they're going. But if you have any tips how to train for this, not in the real world, I find I'm actually not that bad following a wheel in the real world, but in Zwift I kind of lack the direct feedback. So if you know why or how you can improve that, write me in the comments. But so far everything is going well, and I'm outputting quite a lot of power. So actually my FTP, that for my Zwift FTP estimate, improved at the end of this race to something like 176, and that is actually quite a bit more than what I had before. I think it improved by more than 10 watts. One thing that I noticed compared to others, my cadence is relatively low. So most of the time it's below 80, sometimes it goes as low as 60. And I'm trying to improve that. I didn't fully figure out yet what is the relationship of cadence and efficiency. For me it seems if I try to do a high cadence, then basically at the same power output my heart rate just increases. So this is also something that I want to figure out what is the deal with cadence. I sped up the video a little bit here because not much is happening in the next 3 laps. It's basically always the same. We are going hard on the small climb and then going normal again for the rest of lap. As you can see, my heart rate is always around 180, and this is exactly what kills me in this race. So I cannot go much higher than that. And now we will see the deciding moment in this race when some people decide to attack and I simply cannot follow. So there are some people out in the front that output like 4 watts per kilogram. You can see the watts per kilogram they are doing next to their name in the rider list on the right of the screen. And I simply cannot follow now. So I'm doing my normal tempo and they're just going off the front. So now for me the race is over. I'm just rolling into the finish at my own speed and alone. And I think the biggest mistakes I made in this race is going too hard most of the time, so I was too much in the wind. I can improve that. I did not use any power up, so I had this van that gives you some drafting benefit all the time, but I did not use it because I couldn't reach my keyboard from sitting on the bicycle. I think this I should fix by using the phone and somehow mounting the phone to my bicycle, but for me I'm wondering if this is worth it. This also seems like a lot of preparation and effort. I mean, it already takes me like 15 minutes to set up my bike on the trainer and change to the right clothes and connect the fan and so on. So maybe I should just train races without power-ups next time. And if we look at the result here in Zwift, I'm in 10th place, but it seems somebody got disqualified, so there's like a separate page which is called Zwift Power, which tells you your position and some of the statistics. And on this page I'm rider 9 out of 19 in my category, which for me is okay, and I'm kind of happy with this race outcome because it showed me that I can stay in the front group all the time. I just have to be a bit better tactically. See you next time.